I know that I am later than I said that I was going to be. However, Miss Mila took a little bit of a crash and got some boo boos, and so I had to bandage the kiddo up and make her some noodles so that she felt better. So, welcome to a late night Danny After Dark episode. I'm glad to be with you guys this evening. What's up, Jonathan? Good to see you. Hey, Elaine. Girls, you have to talk softly. Thank you. All right. So if you are joining me, good evening, Jen. What's up? The other Jen. What's up, Cynthia? Hey, Dad Jokes. How are you? Hey, Tam Bam. What's up, 100 Dogs? So listen, if you are joining me on Facebook, on YouTube, on Substack, do me a favor and say hello in the comments so that I can see you and speak back. What's up, Stacey D in the place to be? What's up, Cheryl and Cam and Wendy and Laura and who else is in here? Cynthia and all the folks. So let's see, who else do I see in here? What's up, Mom with Goals? Hey, Pamela, good to see you. What's up, Zoe? Good to see you as well over there on the tube of you. Hey, Grammy. Hey, Celia B. Hey, Jamie Cobb. Finishing Love Island. Oh, dear Lord, Pam. Cam, you sound like my daughter and believe it or not, my mom. My oldest daughter got my mom watching Love Island and woo-wee. How about that? Hey, Poet, how are you? Hey, Angie, Rylene. Good to see you guys. Hey, Charlotte. What's up, Deborah? Hey, Renee. Good to see you as well. So, what's up, Resisting? Which watches it too? Hilarious. What's up, Resisting? And 2409 and Lisa. Good evening. All the people in the live say hey. Hello, Amanda. What's up, Witch? How is everybody? Y'all good? I love that you all have chats about it. Yeah, I don't have time anymore. Like, I don't have time. I am tired already, but whatever. Hey, Ali Nicole, what's up, Nautica? So I want to start this evening by asking how many of you all saw that a federal judge today blocked the one portion of the brand new one barbaric bill, and the portion that seeks to restrict Medicaid payments from going to Planned Parenthood, that was blocked by a federal judge today. The courts keep blocking it, and they keep doing things like that. What's up, Skeptically? You didn't see that? Yep, it's a thing. No, I meant what I said. I said one big barbaric bill, and that's what I meant. But thank you. Hey, Tammy, how are you? Yeah. So can they do that? Can who do that? The courts? Yes. Yes, 100%. The court can do that. And give me a second, and I will share with you what they said about it. Girls, not so loud, please. Thanks. Give me a second, and I'll tell you what it says. Give me a second. All right, so here we go. Yeah, so a federal judge on Monday granted Planned Parenthood's request to temporarily halt the Medicaid funding cuts to the group's healthcare centers. And it's under a provision, under the new bill, right? And so U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani's ruling, girls, please talk softly to each other. You're sitting beside each other. And let me just tell you what it says. It ruling marks the first known instance of a federal judge limiting enforcement of any part of the bill, right, that was signed into law on Friday. So you got to figure it was just signed into law on Friday, and by Monday we've already got a federal judge ruling against it. Remember, folks, be careful not to just like mute and block people right off the bat, just because we don't want to hurt the algorithm as well, right? So here's what happened. So Planned Parenthood sued over the provision that imposes a 1-year ban on state Medicaid payments to healthcare nonprofits that also offer ABs and received more than $800,000 in federal funding in 2023. The ruling still allows the administration to enforce the provision against other providers, but Planned Parenthood says it comprises almost the entirety of the impacted entities. So the decision was issued before the government responded, providing no explanation beyond a brief note that Planned Parenthood had shown quote unquote good cause for her to immediately intervene. So the ruling lasts 2 weeks. The judge will rule on whether to grant a longer injunction following a hearing that will happen on the 21st. And of course, everybody always wants to know who appointed the judge. This is an Obama appointed judge. Talwani is, and so there we go. So Planned Parenthood argues that the provision unconstitutionally singles out the organization, which it does, which violates its equal protection rights and amounts to retaliation for Planned Parenthood's protected speech. So, yeah, so there we are. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. So one of the things that I want to point out here, right, is that we see this frequently with this administration. We see them do something. Yep, Helen late nighter. We see this with this administration. Hey, Winn-Dixie, where they do some sort of executive order, they do some sort of policy change, they take some sort of action that singles out a particular group of people or a particular entity. Hey, Cindy. And then what you see is a federal court say, no, you can't do that. That's actually unconstitutional. And then they get involved. And so that's where we are today. Hey, Carla, girls, if you're done eating, can you go on the couch? If you're not done eating, please talk softly. Thank you. Appreciate it. What's up, cuz? So, here's my thing. The part about this that really irks me. What's up, Jabber? Welcome back. I saw your message. I need to respond back to it. Hey, David. So let me tell you the part that really bothers me about what's happening with this administration and all of these things. Candy Red. Okay, so what was blocked? Hey, Mom. So what was blocked by a federal judge today was the provision of the new bill that Trump signed into law on Friday that says that blocks state Medicaid payments to Planned Parenthood. So Planned Parenthood immediately sued the administration, and a federal judge ruled for a temporary injunction today. It will last 14 days, and then they will determine whether or not to do a longer injunction after they have, what's up, Tony Key, after they have a hearing on the 21st. The thing that bothers me about all of these things, the things that we're seeing with the trying to get rid of the temporary protected status for Haitians, trying to do the temporary protected status for different groups of people, the things that bothers me about this is this administration talks so much about going after waste, fraud, and abuse, but they continually waste American dollars taking actions that they know are unconstitutional, taking actions that they know exceed their branch's power. And then we just spend lots of time and lots of money in court only to have these things reversed and undone. Right, Stacey, all for show. Appreciate you, Brandy, right? All for show. Because what they hope is that people don't pay attention to what happens after the fact, right? All people are going to hear is, ooh, Donald Trump stopped them from getting funding for Planned Parenthood. And they're not going to hear that literally 3 days later, a federal judge said, nah, no, you can't do that, right? And so that's the part that is, Bab, so let me just say this. Here's my frustration. We've got to stop calling Trump's folks uneducated, because that's not true universally. And it's very condescending when we say that. What's up, Christina? We have to stop saying that. Hey, Mary. What's up, Doug? So listen, there are people that support Donald Trump that are absolutely educated people, right? They just have their own reasons for doing those types of things, for supporting these actions, right? So whether those things are, race, whether it is sexism, whether it is classism, whatever it is, right? I think that people really need to understand that you can't say that about an entire group of people and then expect to build connection with them. And if you say, oh, I don't want to build connection with them, what I will tell you is that you absolutely do, because that's the wrong idea to have. If we're going to rebuild this country and if we're going to create what we need to, then we absolutely have to be able to build connection and create some understanding, right? 100%. So I just think that people really need to, you have to watch your words. I say this all the time. You can't call people maggots. You can't call them uneducated. You can't call them whatever. Like it doesn't benefit anybody, right? Because, you know, we're all in this together, right? We're all part of this country. Um, so T Mac, it's not about reasoning with them. I have lots of conversations, successful conversations with people that support Trump, successful conversations with people that some would consider to be MAGA, some who've considered themselves to be MAGA, right? And the way that I do that is by establishing, some sort of understanding, and I do that by talking not about Trump as a person or an individual, but by talking about policy and by talking about like what's actually happening and the impact on real people. Because unless you are making $500,000 a year or $1 million a year, you're in the same boat as absolutely everyone else, right? It just is that way, right? So melanated Trumper, either get on the panel or you're going to be booted. Take your pick. You've got 1 minute to get on the panel and have a conversation, or you're going to be booted because you're either a bot or whatever. That's what you are. You're either a bot or whatever. No, Alexander, they are not okay. Yeah. So they don't believe everything. So T-Mac, I am telling you, this is something that I do on the daily. On the daily. Watch this, T-Mac. How many of you all have ever seen me have a successful conversation with a Trump supporter on this app? Put a one in the box if you've ever seen me have a successful conversation. You see that, T-Mac? So I'm just telling you, folks, listen, when people try to tell me what you can't do with Trump supporters, I immediately say, no, I know that you can because I do it all the time. I do it all the time. Right. So, it's just important for us to be able to understand that at the end of the day, folks, we are all people. And is she? They need to go watch the Felix conversation. Right. And Felix is just the latest of several that we've had. And we tend to be able to remember them, don't we? We remember the accent. We remember Felix. We remember Sherry. We remember like a lot of different people, because what I love about those moments and those conversations is that they tend to start a little rough, right? Those conversations tend to start a little passionate, right? And then there's a point in the conversation, right? Which the principal, yes. And then there's a point in, Jamie said salty. Yes, they start salty. Yeah, that was the accent, Rebel. That was the accent. And then there's this moment that happens, and you can feel it when it happens. You can feel the shift in the conversation when it happens, and it's incredibly powerful. And so my whole point is this is something that we absolutely can do and need to be doing more of. And how do we do that? We do that by not coming into a conversation already determining that the other person isn't going to get on board, or the other person is your enemy, or the other person is uneducated, or the other person is in a cult. Like, none of those things benefit us. You have to go into the conversation with no expectations, right? And no hindrances. Just be ready to have the conversation open to however it goes. That's it. It's like I told old boy today, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just giving you facts. Like, that's it. And if you want to have a real conversation about it, then we can do that. And if not, it's cool. You know what I mean? You can go back and watch them, T-Mac. They are on my YouTube channel. If you listen to my podcast, there are several of them that are on my podcast, The Dani Cook Show. You can go listen to me have a conversation with Brevin. You can go listen to me I think there's an episode called Us and Them. And then there's several of them. that are up there. And I still have another one that I have to put up there. So yeah, you can hear them on the podcast. It is literally the Dani Cook Show, right? So just letting you know. Hey there, Dark Kathy. Good evening. How are you? I don't think she meant to request up. Hello, Dark Kathy. You requested up on the platform. So, all right. So one of the things that I want us to really start to talk about with people, which by the way, all of the jersey graphics are done. Can I share those with you? Give me a second, Marie. Can I share with you guys the jersey graphics? What's up, Jeremiah? Because they are all done. So, yeah, no problem, Dark Kathy. So let me tell you all this. We have 2 statewide elections that are happening, right? 2. We have New Jersey and we have Virginia, and they are happening in just a few months. Okay. And Virginia has every race contested. So it's important that we bring things home and help the people in those states understand what's at stake. So when people say, well, what can we do? Midterms are a year away. You got 2 states that have elections right now. And those elections are going to play a role in the momentum that may or may not be happening as we head into next year, right? So I'm just telling you, listen, Bab, I live in the South. So I understand. But you got to ask yourself, when you say you're frustrated living there in Texas, my question would be is where are you spending the majority of your focus and your energy and your emotional currency? What are you focusing on? Because if you spend your time focusing on Greg Abbott and Donald Trump and all the things that they say and all the things that they do, you're going to be really frustrated all the time. But if you focus on, all right, so where are the places where I can make gains? Where are the conversations that I can have with people? Where can I make some sort of movement? You will find yourself less frustrated. Just saying, right? We talk about this a lot. So, Marie, give me 1 second. Let me show them these graphics, and then I'm going to let you talk. So give me 1 sec. Let me take this down. All right. So let me show you all the jersey graphics. You guys ready? They are all up. I'm sharing. And here we go. All right. So I'm going to pull you guys over here. All right. So let me turn my camera around for you so you guys can peep them. All right. So this is in the Google Drive, right, for everybody. So this is the actual breakdown by House district. My camera's a little dirty, ain't it? And so let me show you. No, they're already seeing it. Okay, so let me show you what these look like. All right, so this is New Jersey, District 1, and this is the SNAP. Oh, that's because, yeah, see, okay, so we start with Medicaid. So this is District 1 Medicaid numbers, District 1 SNAP numbers, okay? District 2 Medicaid numbers, right? And this is the SNAP numbers. This is the Medicaid numbers for District 3. And this one is the SNAP benefits for District 3, right? And sometimes what you'll see is I'll have another note down here. We should feed our children, right? Like this one says. Sometimes I don't. This one, our children deserve better. So this again is around the Medicaid cuts. Okay. And then this is District 4 around SNAP cuts. And I'm just going to show you some of them as I go. You get the gist. They're Medicaid and then they're SNAP, Medicaid and SNAP. So I'll just show you. This one's SNAP, of course.
Don't look at my screen.
I did this one with, because I added in the Medicaid cuts that are happening for District 6. But then I added in that 60% of the nursing home residents in New Jersey are covered by Medicaid. That way we can tie these 2 numbers together. So these are in here and they are available for you to share. This is another one about, and this one, children shouldn't go to school hungry, right? This is another one about Medicaid. And then down here, it's, it begins December 2026. So I'm letting people know When are they going to start to see these cuts? When are they going to see these things happening so that they know when they're going to happen and when they're not? Here's another one, of course. And I made it a point because I wanted to focus in on some of our most vulnerable folks, right? And so you'll see as I do more of these, because I will be doing more of them, you'll see some that has to do with, I'll have babies on here, and then I'll have people with various disabilities, right? So this, I haven't done Georgia, Kat. This is specifically about Jersey because they have a statewide election right now. But Cobb County, Georgia is in the Centers for American Progress, and the link is in the link tree, right? So here's another one. And this is another one. No, we should not mention the election. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, this is what we would call a drip campaign. So give me a second and I'll tell you why. There's nothing on here about voting. There's nothing on here about representatives or Democrats or any of that. And the reason why is this is let's establish a common ground. This affects all of us. This is about the issue. It's not about your politics. It's about all of that. This one is like one of my favorites. And so because the idea is it's the minute you start to talk about an election. Yeah, baby, that's yours. So the minute that you start to talk about what?
Just make me pee.
Oh, you want to get some water? Okay. Bella, will you get her a clean cup out the dishwasher? Okay, so let me just share this with you all. So the minute that you start to talk about voting, yeah, thanks, Christina. So my goal is, let me just kind of explain this the way that I want to build this out for people. So number one, this is in my link tree. So no matter where you are watching me from, you have a link to my link tree that is in my profile. Okay. Yes. And I want you to share it even if you're not in New Jersey, because you will know people that are in New Jersey. Right. And so this is how you start to say, oh, this is information that everybody needs to know. And I want you to know it regardless of your political affiliation, because you deserve to know it. Right. So then the next piece of this is, hey, girls, not so loud for me. Okay. So the next one that will go out is it will have the number for that district again, but it will have like the district with all the counties that are in that district. And then by county, the number of people in that county that has Medicaid or that receives SNAP. So all of this, here's what I love about this. This is publicly available data. You can go into your state, their Department of Health and their statistics, and you can find out how many people in your state are on Medicaid and how many people in your state are on SNAP and how many people in a particular county have SNAP. So then if I say, let's just say that, that there's 3 counties that are in a particular district, right? And within those 3 counties, the population is, 250,000. And that you happen to be one of those districts where 46,000 people are going to lose Medicaid. Holy shit. Right? You're not talking about a fifth. 1 out of every 5 of your neighbors has Medicaid and they're losing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you're going to build the connection. You're going to make it real for people about what's happening in their own communities with their neighbors and what that looks like for them. Now, what I hope happens after this is that people that are running for office, especially state office, right? Girls, talk softly. What I hope happens is the state representatives and the people that are running for statewide office, the hope is that they have people on the ground that are interns or people on the ground that are volunteers that will go and meet with people who are willing to speak with them and get their stories, not just in a letter that somebody reads on the floor of Congress, but on camera. Get a 2-minute conversation with someone about what this looks like. No, the ACA is about purchasing Medicaid through the marketplace. and all of these numbers are Medicaid. That's what these numbers are. So now that's not true, and you know it's not true. If you would like to discuss it with me, go ahead and come on. Marie, go ahead and jump on in here real quick. Here's what I'm going to say to you. There's going to be two things that happen. One, I'm not going to let you spew misinformation in the comments. So either join the panel so that we can discuss the misinformation that you just said, or you will be muted or booted. And be respectful. Don't be mad just because we're calling you out for your misinformation. Don't do that. And I can promise you, I know more than you. What's up, Marie? Good evening. How are you?
Hi. I have recently found you, and I just feel so seen and see a way that I can help. Recently, with someone who's very close to me, just had to sit them down and say, when I found out how you voted, it really shocked me. And it really hurts me. But I know who you genuinely are as a person. And I need you, though, to admit that Trump has done racist things in the past and misogynistic things, but that doesn't mean that's what you are. So I think a lot of times they feel like we're calling them everything that we say Trump is.
Well, here's what I will say. Whether they think they are or not, they're supporting it. So they are part of the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. So here's my thing. There's something else that they are, that he is, that makes them give him a pass for those things.
And that's completely true. But it had been, I think, December 2024 when I found out. And they had been in my life for many years. And it's not someone that, yes, I did kind of stop talking to, but I knew, I can't just cut you out because of this, is what I got to. And I love you and how you will let people have different views and be respectful to them. Because there's a woman that is very candid about how she has gotten her daughter, off of drugs and the way they went about it and their experience that I followed for years. And she was also always very respectful for people who had different views. And that's how you foster a community that's positive and, an online presence.
So here's what I will say about that. And I think that everybody should do what works for them. What I will say is that I have reached a place where I will not be friends with someone who supports the Trump administration and the things that they do. And the reason why is we can be acquaintances. I won't be rude to you. We can be in the same space even, but you can't be my friend. Yes. And the reason why you cannot be my friend is very simple. Okay. You are supporting an individual who is intentionally hurting people who look like me and mine, right? And my family.
It's a moral issue.
Yeah. So it's not people just having different points of view.
No,
yes.
I agree with you on that, but it's family. So that's
I don't talk to several of my people in my family. We didn't even have a family reunion this year. Because I'm not sidestepping. I refuse to let them be comfortable when I got to walk around all damn day uncomfortable. No, I'm not doing that anymore. Because here's the thing. We have done that ever since people thought the Civil Rights Act solved things, right? And so we have
Obama being elected.
Right. And so my thing is, no, you get to be as uncomfortable as me. Period.
And that's on protecting your peace,
Okay, I will as soon as I'm done, baby. I will. Come here. Hold on.
That's on protecting your peace, what I also tell my mom, Okay. And I love how when you said you were a grandmother, I was like, oh no, because I knew this woman, these were her children.
No, these are my grands. That's
today.
Mila.
Oh my God.
Here, go lay down for me and I'm going to come snuggle
Opened
with
up
you.
today with, I think it was Jabber.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yes.
Because it was like, we talk about what happened in our education system to Jewish people, but not what happened to Palestinians.
Right. Yep.
You know,
I can't wait to have Jabber. Judo, you missed it. Jabber was on with me earlier this afternoon, and it was fantastic. I cannot wait to have him on a podcast episode with me.
Yes.
For him to give so much information around the history between Israel and Palestine. It was just absolutely fantastic. There was a guy that was on my panel who's a Zionist, and I mean, Jabber just was fact checking all day long. It was fantastic. Wow. It really was.
With 3 minutes, and the guy took up like 45 minutes defending his views. Yep. And I sent a comment like, "This is more deep breathing than I do in hot yoga, Dani. Like, girl, why are you making me do it?"
Yeah, but, it was really good.
It's like you have to do that to get to the other side. And I will be using, just say this, like, your graphics to like repost and things like that, because I'm kind of private and don't really post so much. I don't really know what to post, but yeah, I'm just so happy to have found you and kind of how you can get away from legacy media now through podcasts and people like you who, you know, on social media, because that, you know, I realize like America, we have our own propaganda.
We sure do. We sure do. And it has gotten worse. And so for people who don't believe that there is propaganda in this country, or that there is an intentional effort to give misinformation, disinformation, mislead people, there's a documentary on HBO called After Truth, and it is the cost of fake news and misinformation. And Jack Bergman, who is one of the Republican kind of lobbyist dudes, whatever, he's in there, and they talk to him, and he absolutely says, listen, he says, well, I know it's disinformation, but if we don't do it, they are going to do it, so we're going to do it first. And he says it on camera that they're lying to people. And I mean, I'm just telling you.
I'm definitely gonna watch that, and you know, like I love reading books as well. Gonna look at your list and Jabber's as well, because you know, educating ourselves just on something we were so misled about, and just it's just really disheartening. And you have given me hope recently. So thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to be a Danian.
We love that. Yeah, and hope is everything. I keep telling everybody, hope is the one thing that is stronger than fear. Hope is the thing that wins. It's not love. Love is fickle, right? But hope is different. And it's the thing. Y'all keep telling me I keep talking about the daggone Hunger Games, right? When President Snow talks about hope. And he says, you know, a little bit of hope is good. He said, but a lot of hope is dangerous, right?
Exactly.
And so that's what we have to do. We have to give people a lot of hope, and along with that hope, tangible things that they can do to move the needle forward. That's what we have to do.
Make them an other, like that you made, which is just beautiful that you did that, to show things, but not talk about politics, just facts. Because maybe you change people's mind, the more people start sharing it, you know, with our reach, we can do more over these next however many years.
Yeah.
You know, it was great to just talk to you.
Yay. I'm so glad you're here. So keep coming back, and then you'll have to start coming to like when we do workshops, and because we do that as well. I do free workshops where anybody in the public can come.
It's just so much, and I'm amazed.
Well, thank you.
Because I'll keep gushing. But yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweets.
Bringing me hope.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for being in a place that you can receive it, because not everybody can, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So appreciate that. Have a good one, hon.
You too.
Okay. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about these graphics and how and what the stages look like. So this is July. So we want to get these graphics out for Jersey and for Virginia out this month and be sharing them. The cool thing is, remember that the link for this breakdown is actually already in the link tree. So when you do the post and you use the graphic, you can link it straight to the breakdown for the Centers for American Progress if you want to, so that you can be like, all right, here's the link. Go look at the numbers for yourself, right? And so all of these things are good. So let me just tell you, there's a note and it gives you the analysis using the KFF, the May 21, 2025. They tell you where they got all of that information is in here, right? So you can use the link along with the graphics, right? Explain how to link the info. Sure. So let's just say that I'm doing, this will be the next workshop. The next workshop is going to be how to use the graphics and how to communicate effectively in a social media post. Because folks, this is how you go from online engagement. Okay, sissy, I am. Go ahead and lay down and I'm coming, okay? I'm going to come snuggle with you. I will. She took a little fall, y'all. So she's got little Band-Aids on her knees and boo-boos. And so she's extra today. Okay, so let me just, so you want to be, there's a way to communicate, right? Yeah, when she was coming back over here, Cam, she was running and fell. And so she's got a couple of like little abrasions on her knees and right here. And so then she said to me, she said, Tutu, I didn't mean to run. I said, girl, it's okay to run. It's okay to run. And she was like, but I didn't mean to run. I said, no, you didn't mean to fall, but it's okay, babe. So yeah, so I cleaned it out and put some little Neosporin on it and then gave her Band-Aids that she didn't really need.
Look, when I get a Band-Aid on, you damn right I'm going to be a little extra, so don't be holding that. Just that little baby over there. I mean, we have a right to be extra.
She is so she's Tutu. I want to snuggle with you. I said, girl, I'm going to come snuggle with you. I'm going to come snuggle with you. Because I do every night. But yeah, so, but she's okay now. Her big sister's taking care of her. But yeah, no, I ain't mad at you. So let me just tell you. So so when you use these social media posts, there's a way to do social media that appeals to everyone. All right. So here's what I mean by that. And this will be the workshop that we do, is on how to be effective with the graphics that we've created and link them. So what I would recommend that you do is put the link in the comments. Got it? Because sometimes Facebook doesn't like it when you put the link up top in the caption. But think about it this way. There are some people that are going to be, they listen for tasks. They listen for, what do you want me to do with this information? And those people, they're like me. They don't want big, long paragraphs. They need very succinct things like bullet points and things like that. If it's huge, if it's one big paragraph, you've lost them. They'll never read it. There are other people that they love to think about ideas and the big picture, right? So you're going to be using words like, can you imagine, right? 37,000 people in your community not having health insurance coverage, right? Picture children going to school hungry, right? Those types of things. When you say, can you imagine, picture this, what would it look like? And I love to use that one in a positive way. Girls, talk softly. I like that one in a positive way because I'll say, what would it look like if every child in our community had a roof over their head and 3 square meals in their belly every day? Can you imagine what that would be like for us as a society, right? It gets people dreaming and thinking and envisioning, right? There are other people that they listen for process, right? So you got to tell them what to do. They want data, the who, what, when, where, and why, but they only want it so they can figure out how. So they're going to be listening. Okay, so how does this impact me and what do I do about it? And then the other people, they listen for relationship. Okay. And so you have to use words that build relationship, like we, us, together, share. So it's a combination of a social media post. Well, you might see like 2 sentences at the top, a couple of bullet points, an imagery thing, and then a we're in this together, and it ties it all together, and then the link is in the comments. Does that make sense? And so we'll do a workshop around this where we do it on the fly. Y'all know I love to do that. That way you can just see how I do it on the fly, so that we can be really effective with the graphics. But these first set of graphics is just about giving the people the information that they need about what's going to happen in their community and when it's going to happen, right? That's number one. The second thing, what will happen is the second go around, what you'll do is you'll say District 1, New Jersey District 1, and you'll list the counties, and you'll list the number of people in those counties that are on Medicaid or that are on SNAP. And then you'll have the number of people that are going to lose Medicaid or the people that are going to lose SNAP in that district. So therefore, it makes it real to them about the number of people that are in their community and the number of people that are going to lose the access that they have, right? So all of that is how you begin to make it real for people. Then you come back. So I've got some really great subscribers who are working on this for me right now. So what they have been diligently doing is grabbing pre-vote, during the vote, and post-vote comments that the legislators, that the people in Congress made about this bill, right? And so imagine, right, for the third set of graphics, this is when you want to hit the sweet spot right around the end of September, October. And this is when you put out these same statistics with the quote and the face of their representative, whether they were either supporting or against this. Right? You got it? And now I'm not talking shit about Republicans or Democrats. I'm talking about the person that's over your district and what they did or didn't do with regarding this thing for you. And it doesn't matter their political party, but I'm going to tell you what they said. And I'm going to give you the date that they said it in whatever publication that they did it in. Yeah, they're talking about it, Linda, in the subscribers discourse. So Lisa or Stacey, they can let you know. I think they were, I saw them in there today where they were like, hey, you take this state and hey, you take these people. And so the whole idea is to start with values and issues, food and healthcare, right? And then link that to this is your community and this is what those numbers look like in your communities. So Cam said, yes, Linda, they need work, right? They need help. And then the next one is, this is what the person in who's representing you said about this. And the reason why I want a before the vote, a during the vote, and a after the vote, because I want to see if you flip-flopped. And I want to see if you voted yes and then you still talking shit about this bill, because we need to be making it plain that that's who you are. Because you don't deserve to represent people. If you do not have the fortitude to stand up to the bully on the playground, you do not deserve to be in Congress. Listen, being in Congress is not for the faint of heart. And if you have a faint heart, you don't need to be in Congress. And so we need to know that so that we can vote you out appropriately. Right? So that's the plan with these 3 to 4 sets of graphics. Got it? And then we'll do that, especially right now for New Jersey and Virginia. And then once we get those effectively rolled out, then we do the same thing, starting with our battleground and our swing states. So you got to do the blue wall. You got to do Pennsylvania. You got to do Michigan. You got to do Wisconsin. Have to, right? You've got to do North Carolina. You got to do Georgia. You got to do Arizona. Okay. You have to do those. So it's starting to target all of those places that are battleground and swing states. And then you really get close and you look at districts that are really close, that have margins that are 10% or less. And then you hone in on those puppies. And this is how you make progress. This is how you move the needle forward. And the beautiful thing about this is we've got 16 months to do this. We've got time. And it's not attacking anybody on any aisle. It is literally about, this is what is going to happen to you, to your babies, to your community. And then the hope is to get people like Lisa and Linda to head out into their communities in New Jersey and find people who are on Medicaid and on SNAP, who are willing to talk on video about what it will be like for their family if they lose those benefits. And then we get those people, right? In no, they cannot, Loca, right? And then you get those people in a little 2-minute video. And then guess what? We put that out, we put some music to it, and we put it out, and it's out. I already have 3 mamas. I have 3 mamas in Tennessee that have 3, they all have disabled children with significant disabilities that rely on Medicaid for their children to function and to live. And they've all agreed to be on the podcast with me. We record this week. That is how you move things forward. You put it to a face. I want pictures of your babies. I want it to be real, because when all you do is talk about numbers or abstracts, it's not real. I want you to look at Claire, who lives in your community, who goes to school, who is a walking miracle. I want you to look at her, and I want you to know that what you are saying, I want you to know that what you are supporting hurts innocent children like her. I want you to know that. And I want you to be uncomfortable about it. Right? Thanks, Jeffrey. And so this is the work. And so this is how I decided, because I'm not a lawyer, right? I'm not going to court. I'm not for the ACLU, but this is stuff this is my wheelhouse. I know how to communicate, and I know how to market. I know how to do those 2 things, and I know how to organize. So go ahead, Judo.
I'm not as abreast as Dani is when it comes to the knowledge of Medicaid and Medicare, and I'm learning about SNAP. But I have a lot of Republicans and a few MAGA have come and DM me and asked me, said, I care for my disabled child, whatever that disability is. Mm-hmm. And they asked, will I lose it? And I was like, yes, there is no exemption for you. You get exempted if your child is under the age of 14 and you get to stay home. That's an exemption. Mm-hmm. If you're pregnant, that's an exemption. But it has no exemption if you're caring for somebody that's a dependent child, or maybe not a dependent child. Maybe it's a granddaughter, maybe it's a relative for disability. You have to. The mandate is you have to work 80 hours. That's the only way you keep it.
Correct.
It's gone. And they were like, oh my God, what do we do? And I said, well, first of all, you got to go to the polls.
100%.
You got to be informed. You got to go to the polls. And it's a reality. And that issue affects everyone. It doesn't affect one party or the other. It affects everyone. And it's heartbreaking when I have to tell them this news, because I'm like, it's not in there. I'm sorry, the new policy, the new Medicaid, and it's not in there. Beginning right after the midterms, it goes in effect.
Yes.
And so if you want to affect change, you might want to put some people in there that's in office, whether it's primary the Republican that did you dirty,
yep,
or find you a strong Democrat that you can sit there and get behind, mm-hmm, and maybe put out legislation to repeal that law. I don't know. It's going to have to start now.
100%.
I wanted to come and tell you, and you can come to me. I'm not going to lie to you, but these are harsh realities that everyone will have to deal with now. There is no going back now. Now it's moving forward. How can we make tomorrow better than today?
Yep, and we have to. And here's the thing, what I love is you can't sugarcoat it. You have to make it real for people. 100%. And let me just let me tell this. Somebody in the comments said, can you tell people to reach out to me with their stories? I've made it very easy for you. If you go to my link tree, there is a link at the very top that says the American Reality Project, because what I want to show is the reality of the average American. And so you can click that, you can fill out that Google Drive and that Google form, and then I will reach out to you and we will schedule a Zoom, a one-on-one. And yes, I will help you be able to articulate your story in 2 minutes, and we will do it, record it, I'll edit it, I'll send it to you, and then we will put it out. So yeah, and that's what I've called, it's the American Reality Project, because we need to start talking about the reality for the average American in this country, because the average American isn't making $80,000 a year. Yeah, babe. Oh, did it come off? I got you, babe. There you go. I got it for you. Her Band-Aid came off. And she said, Tutu. It came off, and so I put it on. She said, I don't know how to do it. Okay, girl, I got you. So these are all the things that in it. I just think of it like this. I think it's a 4-part drip campaign, right? That builds from a place of values and issues and impact into it doesn't matter who the person is. What did they do? What did they say? How did they flip? Did they abandon you? Like, what happened? And then here's your opportunity to right this wrong and get rid of them, right? And I keep saying it. This is the example that I use every time, and I'm going to say it again. All right. You will hear GOP representatives all the time talk about being fiscally conservative. We're going to be fiscally conservative, fiscally responsible, right? We hear that all the time. And this is my example and my analogy to address what they call fiscally responsible. If if I had these 3 grandbabies, right, and they were mine, and I had $50,000 just sitting in the bank for a rainy day fund, right? Like many of these states have $1, $2, $3, $6 billion in their rainy day funds. And but these children weren't going to the pediatrician. They weren't eating every single day. They were sleeping outside on the balcony, right? They weren't going to the pediatrician. If DCS came to my door, would they say, and I said, listen, I'm just being fiscally conservative. I'm just being fiscally responsible. Do you think DCS would say, oh yeah, you're doing a great job? Or would they take the children from me? It's easy. They would take the children. And this is what we need to be doing. We need to be taking our families away from these legislators who aren't looking out for them, because that's their responsibility. Their responsibility isn't to the corporations. Their responsibility is to the people. And you can balance it. They're not polar opposites that can't coexist. They can. And we know that they can because they have before. So these folks do not deserve to sit in the governor's mansion with $3 billion or $6 billion in a rainy day fund while people are drowning. Sometimes figuratively and sometimes in real life. They don't deserve it. And we need to be telling them, no, it's a privilege for you to get to serve us. It's a privilege for you to be in Congress. It's a privilege for you to be a state representative. And they need to start acting like it. Yeah, I look at Bill Lee straight in his face. Can't stand that joker.
To me, it's like, this is how I look at it, Dani. It's like, if you're going to represent these people, whether they voted for you or not, you should be one exhausted SOB.
100%.
I mean, like you don't even want to do the job. You work so many hours, and the traveling and everything that resolves to address as many issues as you possibly can in 2 short years, right? You don't get 6 years like a senator. You got 2 little, and really 18 of that months, maybe you might be doing something, and I'm like, and everyone up there looks like they're refreshed. Not everyone. Let me take that back. A lot of people say they help each other, especially like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She looks like an outstanding help. She's just bouncing with glee. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just proposing a bill so I can ban water seeding. So what happened in Texas wouldn't happen again.
Yes, because she researched weather.
Yeah.
The fuck.
I'm like, what in the world is going on down there? Like, and to serve others is a tireless job. And oftentimes, you're sacrificing probably some of the ones that probably want you home more than others, right?
Yep.
That's whether you're serving your country or you're serving your community as a police officer or a first responder or even a nurse and a doctor being a first responder. Serving others, it takes a very special key. And it seems like we're setting up the most coldest SOBs that we have in the Republican Party because of a pretty face, or they have a car dealership, or, you know, some stupid shit. And I'm like...
Or they've been successful in business.
Yes. I'm like, what are you doing for me?
Right.
My guy is a used car salesman.
That's crazy.
Usually probably sell you a Gremlin and say, man, this is the new 2025
right.
coming off the lot, dragging the gas tank along the I-64. Look, you know, I mean, every time I think about his name, I just want to just go ahead and take $5,000 and just go ahead and just primary shit out of him, you know.
This is my thing. When I think about all of this stuff, Judo, I don't think that people really understand that the government is not a business. Like you don't run the government. You don't run the military like a corporation. It's not how you do it. You can't. And too many people think that that's what it is, and you can't, which is why we are where we are. So.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not. This is not. Yeah, it's just not. And
every district is going to be different. My
100%.
district is going to be different from North Carolina districts. They're going to have their own issues, whether you're rural, whether you're a city, or you know you're predominantly one class of people versus a different class of people. You know, and every district is different. You can't run them all the same. But it seems like everyone wants to think they're going to get on the same page. It's like, wait a minute, how's your idea helping me in my state, and you're 3 states away from me? And I get it, compromise, and I understand that. I'm not oblivious to that. But, you know, I'm just like, this bill didn't do nothing. I mean, why are we, again, I'm still trying to figure out how are we still paying for the space shuttle?
Tell people that. Tell them how much this bill included to move the space shuttle. Tell them.
$450 million.
We're gonna move a space shuttle, y'all, for $450 million. It was included in the bill.
Yep, $300 to build the new facility down in Texas and Houston's going. They budgeted over $300 million, and then there's like another $100 million for paying Virginia for the inconvenience. Oh my God. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. We're in Virginia, you know. And then $45 million for transportation.
Yep.
Drag that shuttle out from wherever it's at in Virginia down to Houston and set it up. That's what it's going to cost the American taxpayer to move a shuttle because Houston was upset that they didn't have a space shuttle.
Yep, 100%. Snake Eyes, let me say this to you, and I'm going to say it as nicely as I can. If you say another thing that is ableistic and is demeaning towards people with disabilities, you will get booted straight the fuck out of my live and blocked. So I'm just telling you, don't come in here with that bullshit. Don't do that. Okay? Appreciate it. And that's literally as nice as I can be about it. Okay. Folks, listen, I am very clear about how we run this space, right? And this space is be respectful, don't use slurs, don't spam my comments, don't type in all caps because it's reserved for moderators and those that are vision impaired. So if you come in here and you say things that are homophobic, transphobic, racist, ableist, sexist, massage, any of the istics or the isms, you will get muted and booted from this live. Just so you know, because that's just not how we get down in this space. Okay? I just want to make sure that everyone is clear on that in case you are new to this experience. But I wanted you to see, I don't know, Marky, I don't know. Yeah, so there you go. See, and then you just teach them a lesson and block them, and then you just say a prayer for their mother because what a disappointment they have to be. Oh, Alex, I blocked them. Yeah. That's for me. It's just now I have to say a little prayer for your mother because God, you've got to be a disappointment.
And there's no sense if you're Republican or MAGA. There's no sense in coming up or any come up here and be disrespectful. All right.
Nope.
Get a little bit of information. Become a little smarter. Trust me, none of this information is going to hurt your life or change your views, but it'll make you a little smarter. At least Google something.
Please.
Yeah.
What do you, when you say, how do you believe MAGA who've said they changed? I can't tell you who to believe and what not to believe. What I would tell you is I don't listen to what people say. I watch what they do. Like, that's it. Yeah. I mean, you can say anything and watch what they do. The only time that I take people for their word is when their actions and their words align. I need both.
Yeah. When they say they're ex-MAGA, I mean, I'm going to be honest. They're probably burning the Bible. They're doing something wild. Like, I don't believe it. I really don't. Because look, it just takes a very special person to have that type of discontent and hate. And that's deep in you. I mean, I'm talking about, that's like when you say you're ex-MAGA, you're like literally, God themselves came down and just like tapped you on the forehead. I ain't going to say what he tapped you with, but tapped you on the forehead, and all of a sudden all that hate and everything disappeared. As much of a religious person I am, I'm not going to buy that story. I'm sorry. It's just, there's too much hate and so much heart to sit there and make fun of someone's disabilities, make fun of personal choices, attack women for being concerned about their safety,
right,
about their health,
right,
about their future,
mm-hmm.
and you want to make fun of them, and then all of a sudden you want to come out because something you disagree with. Oh, I'm now ex-MAGA. Nah, man. I'm like,
be softly, okay,
I can't buy that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, when you say it's someone that you've cut out of your life, for me, it's the same thing. The answer is still the same, right? You get to determine whether or not you want to give this person access to you again, and if you do, to what degree. Like, that's the thing for me, right? I think there are ways that you can test that, though, right? I think the ways when people say, well, I've changed and I'm no longer MAGA. Okay, great. So can you share with me what pieces of information made you have a change of heart? Give me your convert story. Tell me what you think about immigration. Yeah, baby. Huh? Yeah, but you got to be careful because TikTok won't let me have you on the camera, baby. TikTok won't let me have you on the camera. Okay? Your hair in your face. Okay, here, wait. Can you lay down like you were, like down here? So TikTok don't see you? There you go. You can lay right here. She said, Tutu, I lay on your lap. Okay, let me raise this up a little bit. There we go. All right. Yeah, she's tired, y'all. And she got hurt a little bit. But yeah, so this is my thing, right? I think there is a way to ask questions, to figure out, kind of where someone is. Tell me what changed your mind. And when you say you've changed, in what way? What did you believe before that you don't believe now?
But even if we ask those questions, even if we have that litmus test, right? When we sit there and we check it, you just can't dismiss the stuff they said.
Nope.
I mean, some of the stuff, some of my friends was just like, wow, unfriend.
Listen, I had that from my own families. I had it from, I had it from family members. Right. And so this is my thing. Where you laying? Okay. So, and this is my thing. It's not giving you a free pass, right? But if you can't articulate it to me, if you can't tell me what was your aha moment, if you can't tell me, when you saw the light, it's, you can tell when people have sincerely had a change of heart and when they haven't, you know what I mean? And so I think that you can test the waters and then you have to trust your gut. But for me, to me, this is when you have to know your own inner wisdom, and you have to be able to know for yourself and be able to trust your intuition and what you get from people, because I just don't think. Yeah. So listen, Amanda, when you say you don't know what to believe, that's because you're thinking with your head and you're not listening to your wisdom. When you are indecisive like that, that is because you're trying to figure it out in your head. You're not listening to your inner wisdom, because your inner wisdom knows 100%. Right? There's a part of you that wants to believe it, so you're just playing it around in your head. You can't do that. You've got to know what you know. Like, that's it. And you can tell. Yeah, but even if they, almost knocked that over. Even if they stopped watching Fox News and did their own research, really, where did you learn how to go do research? What kind of research did you do? Right? You just have to ask the hard questions, because for a lot of people, appreciate you, Cam. For a lot of people, what they believe ties into some part of their core value system. I need for you all to understand that the way that we vote is very emotional, and it is tied to your value system. It is. And for some people, you have to ask them why their value system in their household, or with people who are like them, right? Why does that value system not follow them to the voting booth? When did they give themselves permission to put values aside for politics? Yeah, I mean, author PR, let me tell you something. People people said all kinds of stuff about me when I said I can't be friends with a Trump supporter. And I really don't care what people say. I don't care. And I'll tell you why. You okay, Bella? You okay, sissy? Okay. You slipped, right? Okay. Girl, you scared me. As long as you're okay. What do you need, honey? Hold on, Bella needs something, y'all. Huh?
Me and Mila will play Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. And you want her to come back and play?
Yeah.
Mila, do you want to go play with Bella? Huh? Are you going to go play with Bella? Okay. Go ahead. Be careful. Don't step on that notebook. That's what she slipped on. Okay. So this is my thing. Yes, honey.
I was just over there and I was talking to the gnome and I just felt like I went out of the world.
Yeah, you got to be careful. So let me say this, you guys. When I say I can be cordial, I can be polite, I can be respectful, right? We can be acquaintances, right? We can work at the same job and we can converse, right? But we're not going to lunch together, and you damn sure not coming to the cookout. We're not going home and breaking bread, because you are not for me. You're not my people. My people value human beings. And for me, you cannot support this administration and value people. What it tells me is that you value some people and you think some people are more valuable than other people. That means you're definitely not my people.
You're tracking North Carolina as far as that tropical storm that came through and dumped all that rain again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear if Trump signed a declaration of emergency for North Carolina for that? I haven't looked. I've been busy.
I don't think so, but let me see.
I'm sorry, y'all. It just hit my question. I just hit mine, and I was like, Jesus, he denied them earlier and said, you're not getting another penny from us. Defunded FEMA. I know they're broke down in Texas. They got no money down in Texas, so they're doing whatever.
No new emergency declaration. Nope.
So that ought to tell you something.
Yeah, it didn't hit Western North Carolina, but
the middle,
yeah,
like Charlotte, coming across Charlotte, Raleigh,
mm-hmm.
Down and towards east of North Carolina, not west of Charlotte, east of Charlotte.
Yes, east of Charlotte.
I saw videos of flooding out there.
Yep. So let me just say this. I'm going to tell you what I think is absolutely phenomenal. Okay. The fact that there were volunteers from Mexico, their firefighters and stuff that came to Texas to help. They arrived Sunday evening. And after all the shit that Donald Trump has talked about Mexico, about their president, about their people, she still sent their folks over to help us. I'm telling y'all, listen. I mean, that's what leadership looks like. Hold on a second. When you say so, the PA Pennsylvania's hasn't been done yet. Jersey's has been done. Virginia is coming next in terms of social media graphics. And yes, my link tree is huge. When you're looking for graphics or any of that, it's like the second or third link on the page, and it says political resources / materials. That's where it is. It says resources, political materials. That's the link to the Google Drive where all of the documents are. Yeah, she is amazing. I'm just going to tell you, yeah, listen, she has done more for Texas than Trump has. Because I think his ass was on the golf course, wasn't he? He was on the golf course. I don't even think he's been.
No, he hasn't. He has not been. He's thinking about it. The only person that's been down there is Christy Neal, DHS secretary. And she threw him underneath the bus and said, well, the reason why the information didn't go out is because Trump shut the system down for an upgrade.
Yep.
Ted Cruz is in Italy.
Greece or somewhere. He's in Europe.
He's in Europe.
Yeah. You know, his ass always be something somewhere else when something bad happens in Texas, don't it? Don't he? Yeah. And let me just tell you, I can't. When he says he's going to go on Friday because he doesn't want to be in the way, he didn't think about that when he took his ass to Western North Carolina and they only had one interstate, right? After Helene came through and they had to shut that damn thing down for him. He wasn't concerned about being in the way then. Like, I can't. And this is my thing, folks. We just have to start calling thing a thing. It's not about, so listen, can I tell you for sure that I don't like Donald Trump as a person? I can tell you that. Absolutely. But that's not why I don't like him as a president. They're two different things. I mean, they have some crossover. They have points of intersectionality for sure, right? But it's not, like, for me, I can't. He does not deserve, nor is he equipped to be the commander in chief. Nope. He doesn't even listen to his generals. He doesn't listen to the people around it. You know what? Here's my thing. Presidents are elected officials. They don't know everything about all that job entails. That is why you have staff there that's been there forever. That's why you have civil servants who know how to keep the country running, to brief you on how things go and what you need to do. And then you appoint people that are experts in those fields and in those areas to give you guidance. But his ass don't even listen to the damn guidance. I'm just saying. And then he fires everybody who disagrees with him. Folks, that's not somebody that you want to be the president of the United States of America. Period. Hey, Rosalind, good to see you. I'm just saying, yeah, well, that's because he is one, in my opinion. So it's just really wild where we are as a country. And I think that people who deny the fact, I knew somebody was going to come in and be mad because I said the United States is a global embarrassment, but y'all, that's a fucking fact. I'm just saying, you don't have to like it, but it's a fact. When other countries make murals shaming you, you got a problem. Yeah.
Oh, what do you think of that Epstein list? Getting up and walking right off the desk of the Attorney General's office.
Like this?
Somewhere where it can't be found no more.
That's what I think of it. That's what I think of it. Here's my thing, right? I'm at this place. The only thing that pisses me off about the Epstein client list, right, somehow not existing after all this time, is the only person doing time for all the things that they did to these young girls is a girl, is a woman. Ghislaine is the only person doing time. They protected every single one of those rich white men. She's the only one doing time. And that's the part that bothers me. That is how you know that we are still very much a patriarchal society where, they kind of dictate a lot of things. And so I'm just saying, like, yes, she recruited. Should her ass be locked up? Absolutely. And so should quite a few other people. Just saying. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So St. Barth, as we get closer to that, yes. But so here's the thing, right? It's not just okay. So when so the question was, am I going to collect data on the 2023 GOP senators that could lose their seats in 2026? So you got to work. You got to work back. Like, you don't start with who do you want to see out, right? You got to start with what's happening in those seats that gives you a basis for them being out. Because if it's just they could lose because it was close last time, but you don't connect that to an issue that motivates people, that inspires people, that works people up, that gets them ready to do something, then it's just going to be the party versus party versus party versus party. Got it? So yeah, you want to know who are those 23 GOP senators, but then you want to also know what's going on in their districts, in their states. What were their stances on it? What's the cost to the people? What have they lost in this first year already, in the first 6 months? What do they stand to lose long term? But so the short answer is yes. The long answer is yes, and building upon a foundation of values and issues with the right messaging and the right organizing around it, because that's what it takes. And so this is where, we're going to have to start relying on our networks. Who are the people that that will go out and sit down and pop out their phone and take a 2-minute video of somebody? Everybody I know knows somebody. And so, like, for me, my part is things are about to get really, really hectic. I go to PA next month and for an event there. And how well our pubs live. Well, so Patrice, it's not just how well. So see, when we say that, so let me just tell you all what Patrice said. Patrice said, reveal how well Republicans live while they are cutting social programs. Listen, them damn Democrats are living well too. See, this is part of the problem. Let me tell you, do you want to know why the Democratic Party is having such a hard time? Because some of them agree with this shit. Within the Democratic Party, you have some classist assholes. You've got some Dixiecrats still left up in there. You've got some misogynists, and you got some Christian nationalists up in there too. So you just have to understand, right, that some of those things, some of those people still exist within that party as well. And they like the economic benefit that that some of these GOP agendas is giving them, right? So overwhelmingly oppose what? Overwhelmingly oppose what, Patrice? When you say Dems overwhelmingly oppose, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm not talking about how they vote. I'm not talking about how they vote. They're going to vote against this one particular measure. But the reason you don't see them out there doing all the things that they could be doing is because they agree with part of these things. Name for me the most prominent Democrats that are speaking out against these things publicly. Who are they? Who are they, y'all? AOC, Bernie, Jasmine. Who else?
Get out now.
Melanie Stansberry. Yep. Who else? Corey. Yeah, and whatever, right? Hakeem, but you only see him every now and again. Mila, you guys you're not crying over a game, honey. Y'all are okay. Bella, don't kill her in the game. Okay, Bella, don't do that to her in the game. Shift. Okay, now here's what Eric Sawwell. Okay, so let me ask you this. Where I'm talking about Congress, Pascal. Okay, so now let me ask you this. Out of all of the names that you all just named, tell me the ones that are doing that in a way that isn't divisive and doesn't turn off even moderate Republicans. Tell me one that middle of the road people are unaffiliated or independent voters. Tell me one that doesn't do it, that does it in a way that isn't. I'm just asking. You think Jeffries does? I'm going to tell you where, yeah, it got real quiet, right? Yeah, Pete Buttigieg, I would agree, but his ass ain't in Congress either, right? But yeah, but so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Republicans don't have to. When you say Republicans aren't either, they don't have to. They have the damn House, the Senate, and the White House. They don't got to do shit. They don't got to appeal to nobody for at least 3 more years. They don't have to. But Democrats better figure out how to do it. Just saying. So when we talk about these things, it's not enough just to be right. I say this all the time. Do you want to be right or do you want to be heard? Do you want to be right or do you want to build connection? So how do they do it? I mean, Sharon, we do it here in this space every day. Y'all saw me literally call a woman a bigot to her face twice. And by the end of that conversation, she was thanking me for the conversation, saying that she needs to keep an open mind. How do you do that, folks? Right, Mandarific, that's how you do it. Folks, I'm telling y'all, it takes, no, that wasn't today. That was Sherry. Yeah, that was Sherry. It sure was. I know, baby. I am. There she is. Hey, Sherry. You know what? People talk about the conversation you and I had so much about how we can start off, because you remember, Sherry, we started off really testy with each other. Somebody.
I remember Sherry.
Yep.
I was like,
and somebody said, what did they said we started off salty, Sherry. That's what they said. They said we started off salty, and we did. But by the time we got to the end of that conversation, we were in such a good place that, hey, you know what? We need to be open to information and to more facts, because at the end of the day, we do want the same things. And that was that's where we ended at, y'all, was that, hey, do you want your neighbors to have access to good, safe, affordable health care? And she was like, absolutely. Girl, me too. Do you think that children should have accurate education, even if it's uncomfortable, so that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past? And she said, yes. And I said, me too. Me too. See, we agree on pretty much everything. They just want us to believe that we don't. Yeah, baby. You want to lay on my arm? Oh, that? I got you.
That goal got hit.
I know. I appreciate you guys.
Legs too.
And your legs too? Okay. I got you. In a little bit, sissy, it'll be okay for the Band-Aid to come off because then it will get a little scab on it, okay? Yeah, you're welcome, Sherry. Listen, people talk about that conversation. It was so good. And I meant it when I told you thank you for hanging in there because it was a tough conversation. But that's what it takes. It takes two people that are willing to sit in an uncomfortable situation, in uncomfortable conversation, because there's something more there. And, you know, you saw it. You saw people say, oh, just drop her. She's not going to get it. If I had just dropped you, we would have never gotten there. If you had just left, we would have never gotten there. And so that's what it means, guys. Listen, we did not get this country. We did not get where we are overnight, right? It didn't take us one conversation to get where we are. And it's going to take more than one conversation to get where we want to go. Right? We didn't get here in 10 minutes. It's going to take us longer than 10 minutes to get out. But we can do it. Right? And so, you know, this is the part that I love. People ask me, you know, why do you keep doing it? I have some of my friends that are like, girl, I don't know how. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know how either. But it's the wins. It is the wins. It's the meeting in the middle that makes you stick with it. Huh? What do you want? What, babe? She can't really decide what she want to do. She's so tired. You want to get on my lap? Okay, remember, I got to keep you down so TikTok don't get me. You want that? Okay, there you go. Okay. Yeah, we do. We try to learn every day. We really do. So I want to talk just a little bit about where we are and this last thing, this how we build connection, because out of everything that's on this board that I think that on the picture that we could be talking about, I think that that's the most important thing, right? And we need those moments of connection. I'm personally so drained about the toxicity. And I think, you know what? So Kat said that she is just drained from all the toxicity and the division. And I think that many people feel that way. I really do. And you know what I have started to do with people, if y'all noticed earlier today, when people come in here with that toxic bullshit, I just start going, gosh, that's so weird. Like, that's so strange that you would just come in here and you want to start talking about race. I mean, it's almost like something that a racist would do. I mean, I'm not saying that you are, but gosh, that's weird. Don't you think that's weird? And we saw Joseph left after that. He came back too, but you know, I'm just going to start calling people odd and weird and strange and, you know, all the things because he did leave, right? And so I think it's really important, you know, that, right, Cam. Such a weird thing to type out loud, right, Laura? Absolutely. And it just helps, right? It really does. So yeah, I said something similar with Goose too. Listen, Goose did not want no part of that panel. Goose has been on the panel one time before. He ran up in here trying to bogart his way and mansplain and got served. Yeah, they do. But you know what I say about the people that come back and lurk, right? I think those people secretly want the facts. There's something deep down inside them that keeps bringing them back because I don't go into MAGA spaces. Why? Why would I ever do that? Like, do you keep coming back to a place that you want to? All right, Judo, appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. Why would you do that? And so it's just important for us to keep these things in mind. So things that I know that we need to do moving forward, right? Is the drip campaigns that we're talking about, right? He did after the daddy comment. Just saying. But this is the work that needs to be done moving forward. And then we've got to be practicing on a regular basis, folks, how to have these conversations. Watch your words and your thoughts. Now, what, baby? I know you want my arm. You can't do that with that though, sissy. Here, let me just give you my arm, baby. Here. There. Yes, 100%, Marie. Weird, strange, but not a cult. Gosh, that's odd. Geez, that's strange, right? But let me just say this, okay? So, y'all, if y'all could see this child, calling him daddy is really weird. I agree. But so this is what we've got to do moving forward is figure out how to have these conversations and connections. But let me tell you where it starts. Where it starts before you even start talking to other people is how it starts when you talk to yourself. What are you saying in your head and out loud and out of your mouth about where we're going? Are you saying that things are going to get better? Are you saying that things are going to be worse? Are you saying that he's going to win or he's going to get off? Or are you saying the Supreme Court's going to decide in his favor? Like, are you speaking things that undo all the things that you actually want to happen? Right? So listen, this is when we talk about your mindfulness. The first practice that is really shows your discipline is being able to be disciplined in your own thoughts and in your own words. Hear me when I say that. You're not going to be able to be disciplined in a conversation with a Trump supporter or disciplined in a conversation with a MAGA if you're not disciplined with your own thoughts and your own words. And you can say, oh, I was just joking. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The universe don't understand jokes. It just hears what you say. And it's listening. Like, I want you to, so a friend of mine taught me this and I will never forget it. So the universe is always working in my favor. So I ought to be careful when I tell it what I want or what I'm expecting. Right? And if you say something or you think something that doesn't align with what you truly want, then it's literally, I say it out loud, I'll go Control Alt Delete. Old school. Let me just delete that, right? Denise, you don't have the ability to do that. I mean, unless you are a federal judge or on the Supreme Court, I don't think that you're in the position to stop Trump from getting away with everything. Right? So instead, you have to focus on what you can do. And so what you can do is speak in your circles of influence, in your circles of control. You can help people vote and vote appropriately to get the Democratic majority back in Congress. Those are things that you can do. You can be working with your state legislature right now to get things in place on a state level that can protect the people in the state from some of the things that he's trying to do federally, right? You're focusing on something that, Titan, don't jump up here on this damn desk. No, son, I can't do you on my lap and Mila. I can't. Titan, no. I love you, baby, but no. If y'all could see the way Titan's looking at me right now, he wants so bad to jump up here on this desk. He's trying to figure out. Stop. He is. And I'm just like, he's going to end up doing it. And Oh, he looks so pissed at me. He's cutting his eyes at me. If y'all could see him right now. He is so mad. He'll be okay. Yeah. So Lisa, my daughter was asking me to borrow my copy of the 4 agreements, and I've loaned it out to somebody, and I don't have it right now, right? But here's my okay. So Patrice, wait, not you. Who was it? Denise. So I understand when you say that voters disappointed you in 2024. Here's what I will say about that. I talk about disappointment a lot, right? What do I say about disappointment? Whenever you feel disappointed by people, it's because you have an unrealized expectation. And so then you have to ask yourself, who agreed to the expectation that you have? Because if no one agreed to it, because you certainly don't control other people, then you are only disappointed because you set an expectation without an agreement for it to be met by the people that you needed to agree. Right? So, like for me, I wasn't disappointed in 2024. I wasn't happy in 2024, but I wasn't disappointed. Stop being so reasonable. Yes, I can say that again. All right. So listen, whenever you say, I was disappointed by so-and-so, right? So-and-so disappointed me. Well, if so-and-so disappointed you, that means you have an expectation that wasn't met. You had an expectation of that person or those people or this country, right? And you have to ask yourself, who agreed to the expectation? Who agreed? Because if they didn't agree, that was your expectation that you set by yourself with nobody else agreeing to it. So you disappointed yourself. They didn't disappoint you. You disappointed yourself because you set an expectation with no agreement from anybody else that it was going to be met. Why would you think that, left of center? You said you thought people were better. Why would you think that? That always amazes me when we say, oh, I thought people were going to be better than that. Why? Human beings have repeatedly shown us throughout history that they suck. Have y'all not forgotten this country? Like we mastered chattel slavery. What? Why would you ever think? Like, huh? People have the capacity to be super, super great. And people have the capacity to be super, super evil. And if you know that people have that capacity, it exists within everyone. I want you all to understand something. When you say we think that people were better than that, I say this all the time. Okay, so I give this as another example. Okay, I give this as another example. So we have to talk about duality, okay? Because we like to think in polarity. We like to think of things as either or, right? You're either this or you're either that. You're either good or you're either bad, right? And the first time I started talking about this in workshops and stuff, I was at a women's, binary. And so I was at a women's event that I was speaking at. And and the woman was like, I said, so listen, I said, you do realize your man can love you and still cheat. And she said, no, he can't. I said, yes, he can. We like to think that if someone cheats, that means they don't love you. That ain't what it means at all. And she said, no, if he loved me, he wouldn't cheat. I said, no. I said, let me ask you a question. I said, because it was a Christian event. And I said, do you love God? And she said, yeah. And I said, do you sin? And she just looked at me. And I said, there you go. You love God and you sin. He can love you and still cheat. And she was like, well, damn. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Right. So, again, you have to talk to people. You have to meet people where they are. So I knew that it was a Christian event. And so that was the way for me to like, okay, well, I mean, you love God? Yeah. Okay. Well, do you sin? Then he can love you and cheat. Another way to understand that we have unified duality within us is I can describe someone, and check this out. I do this a lot. So if you know what I'm getting ready to do, that stung. So listen, if you know what I'm going to say, don't ruin it for people who've never heard it. Okay. Don't ruin it for people who've never heard it. So I'm going to describe someone. You ready? So this person is he's a husband of 30 some years. He's a scout leader. He's a deacon in his church. He is the head of the neighborhood watch. He's a coach for his kids. Just all around great guy. Got a job, been working forever, right? And I've got somebody who kidnaps, unalives, and grapes women for years, right? It's the same person. It's BTK. He was all of those things, y'all. He was married for 30 some years while he was kidnapping and graping and unaliving girls for 30 some years. He was both. He was the head of the neighborhood watch. He was the deacon in his church, and he was doing those things. But we don't like to admit that. We want to put people in a box. Yeah, BTK, he's a serial unaliver, Marie. It's bind, torture, and unalive. That's what it means. And so, listen, we want to say, how many times do you see the neighbors? They interview the neighbor, right? And the neighbor's like, he was such a nice guy. I never knew. I must have never known him. He must not have been what I thought. No, he was. He was all that you knew him to be. And he was all that those women knew him to be. He was both. And we don't like that, because then that means we never know what the person laying right next to us is capable of. We don't know what the people in church are capable of. We don't know, right? We don't like that thought. We need you to either be good or bad. It's not the way it works. He was both of those things. Just because he was doing this one thing doesn't negate all the other things. He can be an incredible dad and do horrific things to strangers. Good night, Rains. So understand, this is the same conversation that we can be having about people who support the administration, people who support Trump, people that support G-side, right? Y'all hear me? They can be shitty right here and still be good in another area. And oftentimes people are. Oftentimes people are. When you said we're not supposed to let them in our lives still, I never said that, Amanda. I said you have to do with what works for you. You have to do what works for you. For me, those people, just because you can be good in one part of your life doesn't mean that makes you my people. I get to determine. So like, I get to determine if the area in which you're bad in is a deal breaker for me. So if you are bad in humanity, if you are bad in compassion for human beings, that's a deal breaker for me. So I don't care if like you're good at Sunday school if you are bad at having compassion for human beings. Right? I don't care. See what I'm saying? Yeah, I get to choose what's a deal breaker for me. Right. No, you don't have to accept anything. It's up to you. Yeah. And for me, this is what this boils down to. This is not politics for me. They want to make this about politics, but y'all, this is not about politics. This is about humanity and human beings. Do you or do you not agree with treating people humanely? Do you or do you not? Your understanding is Christian sin is based around anti-blackness. Is that correct? I don't know. If you're talking about the verbiage that is used. Okay, so here's what I think that we can all collectively say and know to be true. Christianity has always been used throughout history to control, to manipulate, to advance white supremacy, to do all of those things. Yeah, it has. 100%. 100%. Does that mean that everybody that calls themselves a Christian is, all of those things? Not necessarily. No. So, Annika, I will disagree with you. Christianity doesn't colonize. It's the people who use Christianity to colonize. We have to be very careful not to make the conduit responsible for the human beings driving it. Christianity is not the problem. It's the people who are using Christianity in that way. That's the problem. It's not Christianity. The same way when people are like, social media is so evil, it does this and this. No, it's the people using the social media. We train the algorithm. What are we teaching the algorithm that we want it to do? Oh, thank you, Linda. Right? So it's important for people to yeah, and I'm not saying that it doesn't, but here, name for me, Uncle Hippie Dan, name for me a religion that doesn't have some sort of problematic ideology. I would say that most man-made religions have some sort of problematic ideology, not just Christianity, right? I think that we can say that just about every ideology has something that's problematic in it, especially when we're talking about religion. So thanks, Linda. So we can't act like Christianity is the only religion that has problematic ideologies, because it's not. Right? I mean, the reality is that Christianity was designed, and when I say Christianity, I am not talking about living according to the principles and teachings of Jesus Christ. I'm talking about the man-made religion of Christianity, which is different. Okay. And so we understand that the man-made religion, right, of Christianity was specifically designed to manipulate and control people. That's why they had to build it on the back of paganism. That's why they had to align Christian holidays with pagan holidays that previously existed. That's why you look crazy as hell on Easter, going to church with your Sunday best on, and then going to get eggs and pictures with a damn bunny. These two things don't go together. Just saying. I mean, but when you actually, but see, people don't want to. Oh, well, that was one part of it. Yeah, CJ. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. The Bible was absolutely used to support slavery. That's why there was a slave's Bible. You know that, right? There was a Bible specifically for slaves. Y'all know that? Do y'all know that? Because there was. You didn't know that, DJ? Yep. Hold on. Whoop. So, the slave Bible, and yeah, so 1807, the Negro Slave Bible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's it. For those of y'all who didn't know, that's a thing. That's a thing. Oh, it was select passages specifically meant, all the verses about, slaves obeying their masters and da 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 and all that. Yeah, all them parts. This is why I'm telling you. So, like, one of the best things that you can ever do for yourself is question your beliefs and determine what aligns for you. Because when you do that, and don't get me wrong, it can be very scary, right? It can be very scary. But once you do it, when you come out on the other side, you become what I call unshakable, even in breaking environments, right? There's not a single person that can tell me I'm going to hell or Jesus don't like me. You can't tell me nothing. You can't, because I know what I believe. I know why I believe it. It sits real good in my soul, and I don't need anyone else to co-sign it. Not a preacher, not a pastor, not a parent, not a teacher. I don't need anyone to co-sign it for me. I'm that secure in it. And when you do that, it is the best thing because it gives you a certainty. It does, and a lot of people don't get there because they hold on to what they've been taught without really digging in and questioning it, and without relying. So this is my thought process, because I was raised neck deep in church. I say this all the time, right? And so I grew up with the Trinity, right? God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And that's how I grew up. And so when I'm explaining this, the place where I'm at now, to Christians who believe in the trifold God, right? One of the things that I say to them is, so one of the reasons I believe that when Jesus ascended into heaven, he gave everybody the Holy Spirit is because he knew that mankind was going to fuck up religion. Right? Because if you have God in you, because if the Holy Spirit is the third part of God, if you have God in you, then that is your compass. That is your true north. That is your wisdom. And so no matter how someone does or doesn't translate the Bible, no matter how many times, because it's the most translated book, period, right? So, like, no matter any of those things, you'll know, you will be able to discern, and it will sit well with your soul. And so, like, that's just the way that I explain it to folks. and I take what resonates and I'll leave what doesn't. It is challenging. It is challenging to go through that process. It is. It is. And one of the things that makes it so difficult is because your pastors, your preachers, your teachers, your Sunday school leaders, your parents, all of those people are in positions of authority in your young life. And so you're not just questioning your religion and your relationship with God and, your salvation. You're questioning those authority figures. You're questioning their wisdom. You're questioning, and these are the people that we want their approval. And so that when you question it, you are risking the loss of their approval and maybe even their condemnation. Right? And so that's what makes the journey so challenging. That's why I did mine by myself. I didn't ask for nobody else to help me. I went with the things that I was drawn to, and then I just, kind of worked out what worked for me. Hey, Bella, can you let me lay this girl down, y'all? She about to make my whole ass arm go to sleep. Hold on one second. Here, baby. I got you. Come here. Oof. Okay. Here, what to do? Whew. That girl is solid. Okay. Yeah, it is a very personal thing. Well, I love the Tao. Right? But one of the things that I love about it is like it literally translates into the way, right? That's what the Tao means. And for those of you guys who wonder what I'm talking about, it's spelled Tao, right? But it's pronounced the Tao, right? And so one of the things that I happen to love is because it literally means the way, which means no, they don't, everybody doesn't do it the same way. It's literally for you to work out for yourself. Look, that's one of my favorite ones, Kat. So one of my favorite examples of the Tao is the Tao of Pooh. And I have the one of Piglet too. Marnie, have you read that one? I have the Tao of Piglet too. But my first introduction to the Tao was Wayne Dyer. And in his book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. That was my first introduction to the Tao. So, Marky, I have to look to see what it was. Jamal Bryant rubbed me wrong. I could probably find out what it was that he said because I probably posted about it that rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, nobody's going to be perfect, and I think you have to go with what resonates with you. Yeah, Wayne Dyer. Yeah, baby. What? Yes, 3:00. So I don't need labels. No, it's change your thoughts, change your life. Yeah. Here's my copy. As you can see, it's very well worn. Yeah, change your thoughts, change your life. Wayne Dyer. Yeah. And one of the reasons why I loved this book so much was because 1 minute he might be talking and he might quote something about Jesus. And then the next minute he might quote something from Allah or whatever. And there was no need to put anyone against the other. Right. And it's just So here's how y'all know I read it. Well, it's like this a lot throughout. Like it's hard to find a place where I haven't. But you can also go, I don't know if it's there anymore. It used to be on YouTube, his movie called The Shift. If you haven't ever watched it, I highly recommend that you do that. Yeah, but it's just good. It's just good. So anyway, yeah, definitely. So, I mean, folks, I think that this is the path forward, right? It is talking about the real issues. The Shift is on YouTube, I believe. It's Wayne Dyer's movie, Dizzy. So, but it is about talking about the issues and our values and creating places of connection and then building upon that connection with facts and compassion. What's up, Edith? And authenticity and respect and vulnerability. And then getting to the place where you can discuss how do we create the world that we actually want to all live in together. Because I don't like the one we've made. I hear people say all the time, all these people, these kids, they just need their ass whooped. I got my ass tore up all the time and I turned out just fine. And I said, no, you didn't. You didn't turn out just fine. None of us did. And the reason that I know we did not turn out okay is because of the world that we have created. If we turned out okay, the world would look much different than it does right now. If this country was okay, if this country was really the greatest, it would not look like it looks today. We are not okay. No, Sharon, it's not that we allowed it to be created. We co-created. Listen, everything that we experience, we co-create. You are a co-creator. And so it's up to us to determine what are we going to be creating together. It's necessary. You know? I would be interested in, I don't know if there's any way to get it. I would be interested in finding out numbers like, y'all know me, I love the numbers and all the stuff, right? I would love to know how much we are spending on court cases in the first 6 months of this administration. I would love to know how much money has been wasted. Because I think people would be shocked and surprised and hopefully appalled. If I believe this, how do I unfriend the MAGA supporters in my life? What do you mean? What do you mean, Mary? I don't have to be your friend to have compassion for you. Matter of fact, I don't even have to like you. I don't have to like you to have compassion or empathy. I can respect you and not like you. Yeah, I don't have to, listen, I take friendship very, right. Compassion is not conditional. So help me understand what you're asking me, Mary. Right, Penny. A bunch. It doesn't matter to me, Dax. I have people in my life. I told you we didn't have a family reunion this year because I'm past the point of letting. I'm not sidestepping. I'm not sidestepping, stepping over, or going under, or just acting like I don't see and hear things at all. I'm just not. If you say something, do something, then I'm going to let you be uncomfortable because I'm going to point out the thing that you've said or done. So if you make a comment that is racist, I'm going to point out that you said it. Same thing if you're homophobic, transphobic, whatever it is, right? What I'm not going to do is just act like I didn't hear it. I'm just not. And if it makes you uncomfortable, great. That's the place where we get to grow. Right, Brandy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm saying it right or not, but or if I'm just not understanding what you're asking me, Mary. Y'all hear how quiet it is? I don't really know about that, Siberio. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't have to like you to respect you, to respect the fact that you are a human being. Let me be clear. I don't have to respect you, but I can respect your humanity. I can know that you are still a human being, even if I think you're a shitty human being. But that doesn't mean that I have to give you access to me and my what I call my delicate places. Everybody doesn't get that access. And what I've noticed is I don't even have to cut people off. I just make them uncomfortable by telling them the truth about what they've said or done, and then they remove themselves. They typically remove themselves. You know? So, yeah. So here's what I need to do. So let me just say this. I have to set up interviews and all of that, and then workshops. Some people made him their idol. Sure. Some people did. Not everybody, but some people. Yeah. Unfortunately. So listen, folks, I will be back tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning. We will talk about the news of the day. I will schedule the workshop on how to move things forward. I'll be working on Virginia graphics next. Go check out the New Jersey graphics. Let me know what you think of them. You guys get some rest, take some deep breaths, and I will see you all, I don't know, in like 10 hours or so. Okay.